Hi, everyone. I am back with another solo episode, and we're going to do a departure from parenting here for a second. So, if you come to me and you're like, tell me what to do when my kid's having a really hard time, I have a ton of resources on that. But today I'm going to go in a different direction because the thing that I'm asked almost as much about as parenting is how I created and grew the Parenting Reframe, what it's like to have your own quote unquote business or creative endeavor. And I'm always getting DMs and emails. People I know or acquaintances reach out all the time asking if I'll meet up with them or if I will do a Zoom call with them to impart any wisdom, which is really sweet and really nice. And to be quite frank, I did that all the time in the beginning. I reached out to people who were in a position that I wanted to grow to or I aspired to be. And I will tell you, I still keep those people in mind of just how generous and kind they were in terms of helping me. And then there were some people who couldn't, and that was okay too, because now that I sort of sit in a different space, I know how scarce time is and I know how hard it is sometimes, and everyone's situation is different. We want to commit to a lot of things, and sometimes our intentions are great. It just doesn't always mean that we can do all the things that we want to do. So, with that, I'm going to talk a little bit about how this space came to be. But more importantly, I'm going to give you the advice that I always wind up giving to the people that I'm sitting with, to the people who ask to do a call on this, the people I meet for coffee to help them. It always comes down to one universal fear that we all have, whether you're a woman or a man, or you're a CEO of a company, or you are somebody who's looking to do something completely creative and just express yourself in a new way. It always boils down to one very simple thing. And I have it still, and the fear still lives in me, but you get better and better at managing it. But it truly comes down to our fear of being seen. There is let me paint this with an example, or at least kind of walk you through how this shows up. So I was recently sitting with a business owner here in the Detroit area. She has a small business. She's doing really well and wants to grow on social media, and saw that I was able to grow on TikTok and on Instagram and on Substack and my podcast audience, obviously, you guys. And she was like, how did you do it? How did you go from, zero to this wider audience? And, I really want to be able to tap into it, but it just feels like every time I'm posting something, it's like crickets, or it just feels like you're in nobody's answering or nobody's engaging with your content. And it can feel very discouraging and, all the things. It can become noisy and confusing. And I've certainly been there, and I'm still there so many days. So I get that. So I said to her, well, what's the value or what's the benefit? Like, if somebody comes to utilize your services at your company, like, what are some things that your customers say, or what are some problems that come up pretty frequently that you can just speak to? Or you could just say, like, if most of my customers come to me for problem A, when you come and see me, here is what are one of the things that I help them do. What's the value? Like, why do I want to listen? The hope is that you're going to provide me with some type of value, right? And I could see, even as I was describing it and saying the exact words I'm saying right now, it was like her entire body started to freeze. She started to like almost look down, and she started to almost shake her head no. And I stopped and I said, what? Like, you can do that. That would be awesome. Like, you tell me all the time. I'll call and ask you a question, and you give me a really great explanation as to why something's happening. And she goes, I can't put my face on social media. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, that's all I do. I'm literally, like, you're asking my advice and my account. Like, I'm literally a talking head, you guys. I don't ever make fancy reels. I don't ever do any good editing. There's no cap cut. There's nothing. It's just me talking. And she goes, I know, but you're different. And I said, I'm not different at all. Like, I started the same way. I had 0 followers. I was in my 40s, which, by the way, like, if I would have listened to the stories that I was subscribing to at that time, it was like, what are you doing? You're like way too old for this. This is what your kids are into. What are you doing on TikTok? You're going to be one of those people who's all over social media. What do you need attention? Like, all of those gremlin voices were in my head, and they were all saying those things really loudly, by the way, especially in the beginning. And so I said to her, I said, well, why can't you just sit with that question for a minute and tell me what's really coming up for you? Like, why can't you just post a video of you just saying something about a service that you guys provide and the value it brings? And she said, I just can't. I'm not well spoken. I think, and I said, okay, go further. Like, okay, let's assume she is well spoken, but let's just go with that for a second. Okay, you're not that well spoken. You can script it. You can do a lot of different things. You can rehearse it. You can even do, there's like teleprompter apps if you really wanted to do that, and you could just read the thing that you want to say. You could work with somebody who can help you become a better speaker. Like, there are a lot of things. And quite frankly, I think the people who I at least resonate the most with on social media, and I do think this is also true for you guys in my audience, I think you like the fact that I don't script. Who wants to talk to somebody who's scripted? Nobody. Like, it's so just monotonous and you lose me, right? So I kind of like that, people are just talking from the heart, or they're just sharing in a very organic way. Makes me feel like I'm sitting on the other side of a table with them and I'm taking in this information. I mean, at least that's the hope I have when I'm, whether it's recording this podcast, creating a video on TikTok or on Substack or on Instagram. The hope is that I'm able to just connect with you based on the words I'm saying are coming from a very genuine place, and I'm hoping that they resonate with you. So much so that my solo episodes, we don't edit them. My producer, John, just goes in and cleans up the audio so that people are around me at home. So you might hear sounds. He can take those things out, but I don't want him to take out my ums, and I don't want him to clean it up. I want you guys to feel like I'm sitting here. You're in the room with me. I'm talking to you. I don't want it to feel super polished. I like the fact that you guys are here and you want to hear what I have to say. I don't ever take that for granted. Like, that means a lot to me. So I don't want it to sound perfect. I don't think anybody's here for perfect. So I said to her, okay, let's just say you're not well spoken. All right, let's go with that. There are solutions to that, right? Like, we could technically solve that. So let's say you're well spoken and we can all check that box. Would you do it? And she couldn't. And she goes, I'm just afraid. And I said, you have a fear of being seen. And she said, that's exactly right. And I said, well, tell me what you think people will say or do. And she said, it's not even the people I don't know. And this is the big thing I want to highlight in this episode, because I felt this way too. It's not about the people I don't know. I don't care what they're going to think. It's the people you do know. It's your family members who are going to watch you on social media and go, what is she doing? It's the friends that are like, what is she talking about on social media? It's the people we're close to that we worry about the most. And I can tell you guys this, when I came on social media, I wasn't on it at all. And I had all of those same fears. Like, are my people going to think I'm completely losing it? And the more I share and the more I share about myself, this is also new terrain for me. I worry about, do they think I'm too spiritual or too weird? Or like, I talk about being intuitive. I've written Substacks about this. I talk about, a lot of interest in manifestation and the unseen. And I love all things woo woo. And I love I like all of that stuff. I think it's such an important part of the journey. And I love working with people who love that stuff. And I have a spiritual teacher and I have people that I reach out to. I would have felt terrified to say those things in the very beginning, like 6 years ago when I started creating content. I wouldn't have said that. Now I just don't care. But at the time, just that fear of being seen, and not just seen, but truly seen by the people we love, tends to feel the hardest, right? Those are the moments that we feel like, oh, what are they going to say? What kind of rejection am I going to experience? What's the judgment going to feel like? And as a result, what ends up happening is if we listen to that fear, we will always choose safety. And safety lives where we feel like we're accepted, we're approved of, we are liked. We assign safety to a lot of these things. And when we think about the idea of stepping into an unknown space, being seen in a new way, I can't control that, right? I can't control what other people will think of me. I can't control if somebody that I know and respect is going to listen to this and go, she's losing it, or she's off her rocker, or what is she even talking about? Who does she think she is, right? Those same things have played in my head too. And at the end of the day, I would say that if that's what you're experiencing, one, just know we always think it's worse than what it actually ends up being. Meaning, before I ever created content and I finally decided that I think I'm going to do this, or at least try, I had all those same fears that I'm describing to you guys. Every single one of them, all of them were there. And I did it. And let me just explain to you guys what happened. People I love and adore, who I never thought would even understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, or I just kind of thought they might not really get it. They're not like social media people. They're not that they're not in the space of like creating and being creatives and talking about things that are abstract and all of that kind of stuff. And those are the people who came to me the fastest. And they were like, we are so proud of you. We are so inspired. We love that you are doing this. How did you do this? This is amazing. Good for you. Will you sit down and talk with me? I would love to get involved in fill in the blank. And all of a sudden, where I thought I was going to be experiencing a lot of maybe ridicule and rejection and maybe people having certain opinions about me, that didn't happen. And by the way, maybe it happened behind closed doors. I don't care. I really don't care. It's okay. You don't have to love it. You don't have to love me. You don't have to love what I'm doing. You can feel bothered by it. I can't control it. It's none of my business, right? I just really have I have an idea. I have a thought. I want to share it. I want to express it. I will do that. And so if I think it resonates or I think it will help somebody, I will share it. And for me, that no longer gets in the way. This idea that like I can't be seen in a certain way or I can't be seen truly as I am or in the context of really sharing about the things that I love and the things I enjoy exploring and doing. So the fear of being seen always starts, but it always sort of gets in the way is what I should say. It always stops us, but it's always the people we care about the most that we're the most afraid of allowing them to see us, right? I get negative comments all the time on TikTok, all the time. I don't care. It's not people I know. It's fine. It's funny comments. It's always like, you're too long-winded. You take too long to get to the point, or this video shouldn't be 3 minutes. It should be 30 seconds. That's fine. Like, keep scrolling. That's the beauty of it. It's free. You're not paying me for that. Like, it's free. You don't have to watch. But again, like that doesn't faze me. I don't ever lose sleep over things like that. I am completely fine in my own skin at this point. I'm completely unfazed. But it would bother me if someone I really know and love came up to me and was like, I don't get what you're talking about. I don't know what you're doing. It wouldn't change what I'm doing, but it would affect me differently for sure. But I will say I made a much bigger issue of it in my head. My gremlins, as I call them, those little insecure voices, were so loud about what everyone's going to think about me and all this stuff. And truthfully, none of that happened. It was such a welcoming experience. People were supportive and kind and sending messages of like just disclosing things that like, you don't understand. You've helped me so much in the sense that I didn't think this option was even available to me as a woman at this age to just start creating something new and to go onto social media. Like all of those things felt like that was not for me or not available to me. And you're showing me a different way. So when I hear things like that, not that it's like, it warms my heart so much. And it also more importantly makes me think about if I didn't do it, if I let sort of those gremlins win and I thought, no, I had a great job at the time that I loved, by the way. It wasn't like a job that I was like, get me out of here. I loved the job that I was doing. So I could have very easily ran back into the space of safety, the space of just doing what will keep me safe and people will approve of me and I'll be liked and I'll be accepted and I'll be all the things. But something in me nudged me to go further and to keep going and to try and to step into these unknowns and to step into uncertainty and to say yes to the things that scare me. And I can't tell you how much it's changed, not just my job, it's my whole life has changed, everything. My relationships are richer. I have wonderful people in my life. I have new people in my life that I love and adore that teach me so much. I am so much more resilient. I don't get rattled very easily. I feel so blessed to get to support the people that come to work with me. Like if you're doing one-on-ones or if I do group coaching or if you're buying a course from me, like it completely warms my heart. Like it's never lost on me what a complete blessing it is that I get to do this. The podcast is one of my favorite things to do. I can't tell you guys how many wonderful guests are lined up for 2026. It is so humbling. When I think of where I started, it was like just me and this microphone in the same spot, quite frankly, talking to you guys. And I think about who's coming on even in the next month. It's like a pinch me moment. And here's the thing, it would have never happened if I said yes to safety and no to all the other things that were scaring me. And it all came down to that. I was so afraid of being seen being seen as a person who has a creative voice, being seen as a person who has an opinion that might differ from somebody else's, being seen as somebody who doesn't mind being able to sit and receive, whether it's attention or anything. It's like there's so much tethered to that, certainly for women, like, oh, she's attention seeking, or oh, she's just looking for, who cares? Who cares? It's like, it's exhausting. It's exhausting when you think about the mental sort of gymnastics we go through, worried all the time about what other people are thinking. And by the way, because I bring this up and I'm saying like women in particular, I've sat with a lot of men who ask me for my advice as well on like creating something, starting something, stepping a little bit into an unknown, and that it is no different. That fear is so universal and it stands for them too. The fear of being seen. What am I going to do? If I start a podcast, what am I going to talk about? What if no one listens? Right? So, if I create content, isn't that weird? I don't want my face on there. My own kids. Oh my God, I've talked to my kids about it all the time. My son is a phenomenal soccer coach, and I tell him all the time, he's great with kids. And I'm like, you should just make little videos on, a dribbling technique or a juggling technique with the ball. And he froze. He was like, you would have thought I told him go stand on stage in front of 10,000 people and sing a song. Like, he completely froze. He was like, I'm not doing that. And so I just think it's this interesting response that we have when we really want to step into something where we feel vulnerable, where we feel exposed. And so I think if we're thinking of fear of being seen, I will add this too. Beyond like a creative endeavor, or if you're just wanting to try something new, this, by the way, you don't have to be a creative, quote unquote. Like, this shows up everywhere. Applying for a new job, asking for a raise, saying no to somebody who's never used to you saying no to them. That's fear of being seen in your truth, right? Trying to set a boundary, trying to say like, I don't actually even want to do this thing that you keep asking me to do. And I just keep saying yes because it feels like if I don't, you'll get upset with me. When we really show up in our truth and we put it out there and leave ourselves vulnerable to somebody thinking something about us, it almost always makes us feel unsafe. And I don't know who said this, and I wish I did because I use it a lot with my life coaching clients. It comes up often, but we will always choose a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. And that's just the truth. And it's because our nervous systems crave what we know. So even if it's not a great predicament, even if it's not a great experience, it just feels so much easier to stay there than it would be to upheaval everything or change everything or suddenly bring conflict to a situation where maybe there wasn't conflict before. That's terrifying. So for a lot of us, we'll manage in the familiar. Might not feel great, but we're like, well, at least I know what to expect and I can control this and I can manage this. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to stay put right here. But oh my gosh, what's knocking on the other side of that door for you? Like, come over here. It's whispering to you. It's saying, just look over here. What would it feel like to just allow yourself to be seen in your truth, in your own, in your honesty, in your ability to just speak truly to somebody? It helps tremendously, but it starts with us being able to really sit with and understand what feels safe to me, even if it doesn't sound safe. What are the things that I do in my day-to-day life that help me feel safe inside? And where and how can I disrupt that or push against that? And ultimately, what we want to think about is, at least this was my process, is how do I establish a sense of safety from within? And that's what I've had to do this whole time. I still do it. I have this really cool opportunity to collaborate on this awesome project. And I'm so excited. It's like, I can't even believe this landed in my lap. And I'll share more with you guys when I can. But all those insecurities came to the forefront. Like, what on earth? You don't have any business doing that. Stay put, stay in your lane, like all the things. And ultimately, I just thought, there it is again. And now because I just have so much awareness around it, it's not that it goes away. It's still there, but I don't answer to it. It doesn't get to decide. It's not in the driver's seat, that fear of being seen. I just sit with and go, and I remind myself then, hey, you've been here before. The unknown is where the magic is. If it's scaring you a little, that means you need to say yes to it. And that fear of being seen all of a sudden, It's not the thing that's driving me. It's kind of me saying like, ooh, if the resistance is this big to this, what's there? What's there on the other side? What am I going to learn about myself? What am I going to see? What am I going to experience? Because clearly this is a really big moment that I need to be looking at this instead of running away in fear. What should I be looking at? So when we can start to adopt that sense of resilience, that knowing that, like, I don't know, even if this collaboration falls flat on its face and doesn't work out and doesn't have the end result that maybe we're hoping for, it's okay. I'll be fine. I'll manage. I'll pick myself back up. It'll lead me to something else. I'll get a revelation about maybe something else I'm doing that could be adjusted or improved. It's always an opportunity to learn and to get better. But if we don't look at our own fear of being seen and we don't call it into question and simultaneously look at all the ways we try to keep ourselves safe, which is to not be seen, to lay low, under the radar, don't bring attention to yourself, right? All of these things keep us safe. You just don't get to realize like the full potential, the full magic of all the things you can do. And again, this doesn't mean like go on social media and start talking. Like maybe that's not your thing. Maybe you love writing. Maybe you love creating a really beautiful piece of music. Maybe you write poetry. Maybe you want to learn how to write poetry. Maybe you want to take an art class. Maybe you want to take a photography class and just play and explore and detach from any outcome. Do it. Just do it. The hardest part is the beginning. Always. The beginnings are so hard, because that's when all the stuff rushes to the surface. But man, that's the magic, everyone. That is the magic. So this is what I will leave you with, is there's probably a reason you've listened up until now and why you're listening. And likely what I'm saying is something that you're understanding or experiencing. And ask yourself, where am I hiding? Where am I accommodating? Where am I playing small? And these are, by the way, the same questions I ask myself. Where am I not showing up fully because I'm terrified of rejection or not being accepted or failure or any of those things? And where can I start to cultivate a little sense of inner safety every single day and say yes to one small chance, say yes to taking a little bit of a risk? It's a muscle. We have to build it. But the joy on the other side, it's just magic. So if you listen to this long, do the thing, write the article, reach out to the person, do the thing that scares you, notice the fear of being seen, embrace it. We all have it. We all have it. And step into the unknown. I promise you will not be sorry. Email me and message me if you guys do this and let me know how it's going. So I hope that resonated with you guys. Until next time, thank you so much for being here and listening.